Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning everyone.
Salam, sir.
Waalaikumsalam, sir.
Salam, sir.
Salam, sir.
Salam, sir.
Salam, sir.
Okay, before we start, I would like to ask you, because next week 19 tu is a public holiday betul ke?
Betul.
Macam mana? Supposedly we have lecture 8 to 10, like today lah kan. So is it okay if I just do the lecture during this time? Otherwise, we need to find other day to do the replacement class lah. Probably any day, any date during night lah, because the rest of the day you have class kan. So night je yang you guys free kan. So any suggestion? Do we proceed or we do night class?
Proceed.
Any objection if we proceed on Tuesday?
No.
No objection.
No, sir.
Okay, so for now we stick with proceed with the class, but let's say if anything happen, so I will let you guys know lah, and I will give new date for the class replacement. Okay. Okay, can you see my screen, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we are going to start with chapter 1. Basically, chapter 1 is very general problem solving concept. There are only 14 slides. Most of the slides I will let you guys read by yourself. So the one that need to be discussed in this slide is mainly the problem solving steps. Again, what is a problem solving step? So for you as a computer science student, especially for BCS student, you will learn there are so many types of software development methodology, and we call it as a methodology. There's a very basic one which is the waterfall methodology. Have you heard about it? The one is a step by step how to develop a software, starting with analyzing the problem lah, and then get the requirements, okay, and then design the software and the product, and then implementation, okay, and then evaluation. So basically these are the steps. These are the general steps on how we as a human solve our daily problem lah, okay. But in terms of in the view of a computer science, we have a much more complicated steps that we put in this in this general step. We add details and specific steps so that it meets the scope of our problem, which is the problem that can be solved by the computer. Alright, but the one that you need to memorize, this is you need to memorize. In this chapter is this six steps. First, identify the problem, understand the problem, identify alternate ways to solve problem, select the best way, okay, based on the alternate solution that we provide over here, and then list instruction that enable you to solve the problem. So this is the solution. Okay, this is the solution, and then finally evaluate the solution. So if you remember, okay, from our course structure, course syllabus ni. Mana dia syllabus? Syllabus. Tak ada, delete lah. From the syllabus that I briefed yesterday kan. So we have some of the tools kan. Some of the tools over here lah, ni kan. Can you see my screen guys? Boleh nampak
Boleh sir.
Boleh.
Okay. So next week nanti kan. Next week we are going to have PAC kan. IC, IPO. And then I said after we complete the PAC, IC, IPO ni. So basically PAC, IC, IPO ni adalah are the tools that we use to get this requirement lah. Okay, get the specific problem, and then for us to understand the problem, identify alternate ways to solve problem, and then select the best way to solve the problem. All these steps, okay, this 1, 2, 3, 4 steps will be done by using this PAC, IC, and IPO. Okay, and then the next step, which is this one, okay, list instruction. And instruction in computer science is mostly about the algorithm kan, step by step on how we want to create, how we want our program to works. Okay, starting with inputs kan, and then we have a calculation for example kan, and then we have outputs. So that one is list of instruction. Okay, so in our case as a computer science practitioner, the list of instruction is basically the program that you want to design. Okay, so for this subject, so the main concern for us, list of instruction, is the design lah, using algorithm and flowchart. But when we go to the programming classes, okay, next semester, okay, your main concern is going to be the program itself kan, to make sure the program is running. Okay, and next final step is the evaluate the solution. So there are many tools to evaluate the program lah, meaning that you want to evaluate our program kan. So let's say if the program already completed, there are testing phases that you need to follow. Okay, you need to complete the testing before we can release the final program to the end user. Alright, but in general these are the steps kan. So we modify the step based on the our scope of computer science to make it more related to the software development. So you need to memorize this, and then this is the general kan. Chapter 1 is still general problem kan. And then over here also what you need to know is this one types of problem. There are two types of problem kan. Arithmetic solution, heuristic solution. So arithmetic solution is a very straightforward solution kan. Let's say let's say in a daily situation, so if you have a problem, that very straightforward problem kan, for example making cookies and how to make cookies, so there are a list of recipe kan, how to make a cookie. So just follow the recipe and then you will get the actual exact cookies. Okay, that one is straightforward algorithmic solution. So in the case of software kan, so what is the software that you think designed based on the algorithmic solution? Contoh apa? Example, a software designed based on the algorithmic solution. Any idea class? Straightforward software. Program ke, apps ke?
Calculator.
Yes, correct. calculator kan. Calculator is very simple kan. It is a straightforward design. Okay, you just enter number, and then you hit the operator button kan, plus, minus ke kan, division ke kan. Then you enter second number, you enter the operator again, you enter the number, and then you get the solution. That one is very straightforward, very good kan. And then next is heuristic solutions. Okay, heuristic solution if in real life kan, require reasoning built on knowledge and experience. Meaning that for example apa for example if you want to apa heuristic solution dalam kehidupan seharian, contoh apa ini kan complicated sikit kan. Company open new branch, whether want to open or not kan. That one is not really, there's no fixed solution for the end. Buy the best car kan. For you daily life, for example, you want to select your you want to choose which person should be your girlfriend or boyfriend kan. So there's no actual really straightforward solution for that kan. So in order for you to get the best solution, so you need to have experience with many girlfriend kan. You need to have experience with many boyfriends, so you will know that your latest choice is the best girlfriend or boyfriend kan. So you need to have this experience and knowledge first. So same goes to computer program. If you want to design a program that can solve heuristic kinds of problem, you need to provide the program with the knowledge and experience. So how we provide a program, a computer program with knowledge and experience, class? Do you have any idea? Ada idea tak? Okay, example kan. Sorry? Example, we want to develop what we call it, prediction software kan. Doesn't matter to predict what, to predict the stock market ke kan, to predict the weather, to predict the human face after 50 years, for example kan. So how we want to do that kind of software? So the software need to have knowledge and experience, otherwise it couldn't predict. Macam mana kelas? By giving the program with tons of data kan. Sebab tu kita ada we have big data analytics kan, something like that kan. So it is to provide the program with the capability to do heuristic solution. But again, when we say heuristic, so the solution is not going to be 100% correct. Okay. For example, the prediction of the weather kan. Although our software can predict weather for next week, for example, the software predict that next week is going to be a tsunami, for example kan. So most probably it will happen, or maybe it won't happen at all kan. So it is a heuristic solution. Okay. Alright. So there are two types of problem lah. This is in real life and also applicable to the computer science scope. Okay. Alright. So you may read the rest. Tak banyak pun kan. Ni this is as simple kan. Okay, simple. Alright. So most probably quiz will have one or two question covering this chapter. Most probably. Heuristic kan. Most probably no kan. Maybe no, maybe yes kan. So just be ready kan. And so moving on to chapter 2 So this is what what important it to be you need to understand. Okay. Okay, problem solving concept for computer science. Okay, before we start designing our program, there are a few concepts. Okay, basic concept you need to understand. So what are the concept? First, constant and variable. Okay, various data types. Okay, data types for variable and constant lah. Okay, data types ni is related to variable and constant. And then basic functions available, okay, in computer language. And then operator, operand, and resultant. Okay, very basic operator. Okay, operator lah, plus minus. And then very basic expression and equation. Everything is very basic. Alright. So first, let us look at constant and variable. Okay, so for a computer program, kan, to be able to store any data, kan, doesn't matter what data, kan. For example, my name, kan, Zafril. So my age, my IC number, my address, any value, kan, doesn't matter whether the value is numeric value and number value or a string value, kan, ABC tu, kan. So any value, if you want your program to be able to store any value, so you must have a constant or a variable in your program. So this is what you need to identify first before we go to the coding, algorithm, flowchart, kan. Before we go to that part, first you need to identify what are the possible constant or variable should you put in your program. Okay, so for you to understand this, first you need to know your problem first. That's why we have to conduct the analysis using IC tadi tu, kan, IPO, that one next week. So you need to identify constant and variable. But first, what is constant and variable, kan? So basically, these are the things that store the data or the value. Okay. Of course, when we say storage, kan, storage, if we refer to the hardware, part, storage ni apa, kelas? In computer, storage. Name me one storage device.
SSD.
Kan, that one is hard disk, kan. We have SSD, kan. Hard disk, kan. That one is hardware. And then if we have RAM, kan, that one is for storage. That one hardware. Of course, we need hardware to store data, kan. But in terms of a program, okay, for a program to be able to store the data inside of the hardware, so the program itself should be able to hold the data. So by using constant or variable to hold the data before we store it inside of the hardware. So the software should be able to store the data using constant or variable. Then again, why we need constant and why we need variable, and what's the difference? So variable, basically the data that variable can hold is the data that can be changed throughout the program. Okay, for example, right, at the beginning of the program, for example, at the beginning of the program, the salary, my salary, kan, my salary for the program starting with 1,000. And then the program calculate tax, apa lagi, calculate the monthly payment for car, house and everything. And at the end of the program, my salary, final salary is only 100. From 1,000, the salary value now decreased to only 100. Okay, still the salary value, kan? Okay, so can you see from 1,000 now the salary already changed to 100. So the data is changeable. So if the data of the program is changeable, So the value should be stored inside of a variable. So contradict with variable, constant kan? Constant also a kind of variable. Okay, so this is we call normal variable, and this is we call constant variable. Also a variable, constant also is a types of variable, but it is specifically designed to store a fixed value. Meaning that from the start of the program, okay, if the value of the salary, for example, my salary tadi kan, 1,000, if you define the salary as a constant, so at the end of the program, the salary value is also 1,000. So you cannot change the value of the salary since you already declared salary as a constant variable. Okay, you understand what I mean, Okay. So in this case, given the example kan, so for example, pi value kan. So pi value, anywhere you go kan, the pi value is always 3.124 something kan. So this is a perfect variable that you can declare as a constant because the value cannot be changed. Okay, this is example kan. So this for the variable give you example of height value kan, tinggi kan. So different person will have a different height value kan. So it is changeable. Okay, understand? So this is a very important concept. Although it is a very simple kan, but you need to know the difference. Okay. So how do you know whether a variable should be constant or variable? It is up to you as a programmer kan. But when you want to declare a certain value as a constant or variable, you need to have your justification as I mentioned earlier kan. For example, salary kan. Salary you may declare it as a constant or you may declare it as a variable based on your case study kan, based on your problem. Some problem require the program to have a fixed salary value, for example kan. So user in any way when running the program, user cannot change the value of the salary, for example kan. For example lah. So you have your justification why you declare salary as a constant. Example kan. So you as a programmer and a designer of the program will justify. So this is an example of a very simple C program. So this is C program. So if you see, don't worry about this the syntax and everything yet no, this is just to show you where you can find constant how you differentiate constant and variable in a example of C program C program lain if Java maybe different, if C++ maybe different For example, if you see define so if you start with define, so the following variable name, so this is variable name Monday, okay, have been declared as a constant, okay, and the value is 1. So Monday equal to 1 so Monday have been given a constant value 1. So throughout the program, user or the program cannot change the value of Monday. Value of Monday always 1. Okay? Because it is a constant. Okay, this is the first way how you declare a constant in C program. So secondly, you may declare a constant by putting const If you see const in front of a variable, okay, meaning that the variable is a constant variable. Okay, float is a type type nanti we are going to discuss about type later on So this is the name of the variable pi. So we declare pi as a constant. Okay, and this is the value. So this is the second way to declare a constant. This is the first way how to declare constant. This is the second way to declare constant. Both is correct lah. Alright, so let's say if you in your program you see something like this, okay? So meaning that it is not a constant. It is a normal variable. So the value can be changed. Alright? So this is variable, this is constant. Any questions so far, class? Banyak ni slide nanti. Okay. Okay, this is some of the example lah. Okay, example of variable name. Okay, so next important thing is how we want to design a name for variable and constant. Okay, for that there are some rules that you need to follow. You cannot simply put name for your variable kan. For example, sales kan, instead of sales you put S kan. Tak boleh So this is wrong. Or maybe you put item sale. Wrong so this is wrong because variable name you cannot put a space. Okay. So this is wrong or correct, class? If I put it like this. Is there any space?
No.
No. So it is correct So this is the correct way to write down variable name. Okay. This is it correct or wrong, class? Just teka kan, teka. Sebelum saya
Wrong.
Why wrong?
Nama tak ada dash.
Okay. Good So this is wrong because you cannot put operator. So this is considered as mathematical operator tolak kan. Minus. If you put like this, the compiler will detect this as a mathematical operation. Item minus by sale. So it is wrong. This one is okay because this is underscore. Okay, doesn't give any mathematical meaning to the system kan. This one is correct or wrong, class? Teka dulu kan sebelum saya.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. Since there are no mathematical operator, there are no space, and the name is understandable, item sale. So when people read this, people will know this is variable to store value for item sale. So everyone know. So it's okay kan compared to this one kan. S. What it says? S kan. Although it is fulfilling all the rules kan. No space, no operator, but still wrong because it doesn't give any meanings. So that when reader read your program, they don't know what this variable holds kan. So these are the rules that you need to follow Okay, first is it must according to what it represent macam tadi as I explained kan. So for example, if you want to store the ID, staff ID number, staff ID or staff underscore ID kan. Okay, if you put staff space ID, so wrong kan. So the compiler ni system that run your program the compiler So the compiler will detect this as two separate variable. So this is one variable, this is two variables. So wrong because your intention is to make only one variable kan. Okay, according to what it represents. So S saja kan, salah kan, wrong doesn't represent any meaning kan. Okay, short name as possible. So when you want to create naming for your variable kan, don't put a very long kan. Sometimes the value, of course the value that it holds maybe for example kan, student address, student BCS address, batch semester 1 2022, 2021. For example, that one to hold student address value for student BCS. For example, kan, that one is too long kan. Too long for variable names. Cannot So make it short as possible but clear kan. Understandable. Okay. So this is important. This one, as I showed earlier, you cannot have space in a variable or constant name. This is applicable for a constant as well, because constant is a type of variable. Okay, so no space. Okay, if you want to put some space, you need to use underscore. Okay, underscore. Okay, do not use dash or any other mathematical operator kan. So after this, we are going to look at all the mathematical operator available in a programming language. So you cannot use any one of it in your variable name. Okay, you must not start your variable or constant name with a number. Number cannot Number and symbol cannot. Okay, starting with number and symbol is wrong. Okay, cannot do not use a symbol lah. Do not use symbol in any in front. Okay, in front is wrong. Inside also wrong kan. This kind of symbol. Underscore okay underscore okay, but this symbol cannot So it have its own meaning in the programming syntax. So wrong. Okay, and then so this point and this point is similar. Okay, meaning you need to be consistent. Okay, for example, at the beginning of your program, you use a variable name with lower letter kan. But at the middle of your program, you forget that when you declare it on the top of the program, you declare it as a lower letter kan. But suddenly in the middle you use capital letter kan. So wrong. So the compiler will detect this as two different variable because it is not the same. Okay, the compiler will detect this two different variable. So you must be consistent. Okay, same goes to this one. So you will get error if you put it in your program like this. Sometimes you use this, sometimes you use this, you will get error. Okay, clear The rules need to be followed and you need to memorize it. Okay. Any question? No?
No.
No, sir.
Okay, let's look at this simple case study kan. So let's say you need to create a calculator to calculate your CGPA kan. So what are the possible variable or constant that you can create for your program kan. So you need to identify lah what should be the constant and what should be the variable. And as I said earlier kan, so this is not a fixed answer so it is based on you as a designer, how you want to design your program. Most probably there are no constant at all for your program kan. Most probably everything is a normal variable, no constant. Also correct if you can justify your design like that, then no problem, also correct. But this is the example. For example, the question requires the question kan. For example, the question requires you to list down all possible constant and all possible variable. This can be the answer. Okay, as you can see over here, constant value point A. Any idea why value point A can be a constant? Can be a constant kan?
Because the value for grade A is already constant.
Because the value is always What? Always
4.00.
the value for point A, okay, value point A is always 4.0, so it cannot be changed. So if student get grade A, so the value point A equal to 4.0. So it is fixed value. So you can system cannot change this, So if you allow the system to change the value point A, then not accurate lah the result for the CGPA. Okay, same goes to the rest of the value point, So this one you can extract as a constant. Okay, next we have variable. So value change, value that can be changed, So in this case, give example for grade. Why grade is a variable, is not a constant? Can I put grade as a constant? Can I put grade as a constant? Is it wrong? Any idea, class?
Cannot,
Why I cannot put grade as a constant?
because it's changeable.
Example of value of grade apa, class?
A, B minus.
Okay, correct, So grade can be A, can be A minus, okay, can be B plus, okay, can be C plus. Okay, I'll give you one example. So let's say I want to create new variable, which is value point, okay, value point. Okay, what should I make this? Is it normal variable or constant?
Constant.
Why is it constant?
Because the value point is already fixed.
Fixed to what value? Jangan confuse. Fixed to what value?
Not constant.
Don't get confused. If we be specific, value point A, then the value is constant always 4.0. But let's say I want to create one variable which is value point. So it couldn't be constant, Value point can be 4.0, can be 3.67, 3.33. So it is not suitable to declare value point as a constant, Okay? Do you get my point, class?
Get, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you as a designer and a programmer for your program, So you are the one who are going to define this, whether it is a variable or it is a constant. If you want to make it a value point as a constant, also can. But you need to find out what are the constant value that it should hold. Okay, if you can justify that, then no problem. Okay, to make it a constant. All right. Okay. Okay, so this is a variable, But let's see, Let's see if I change this to subject name BCI 1143. Now, is it suitable to be variable or constant?
Constant.
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 Now it become constant, because it can hold only one value, which is problem solving, All right. Hopefully you understand, Okay. Okay, so as you can see over here, from the answer, let me just show you the answer, The staff name variable. Okay, so because it is general, so staff name can be any name lah. If you have 40 staff, so it can hold 40 different name. Okay, number of day in August. considered as a constant. Why is it constant, guys?
Fixed to 31 days.
Can I make it variable? Is there any situation that I can make a number of days in August as a variable, normal variable? Boleh tak? Tak boleh kan? Cannot kan? So there's no situation I can make it normal variable. So cannot, constant. List of months. List of months. Constant kan? List of months always start with always have January kan. So this is considered as array lah. One variable that can hold more than one data kan. But the data is a constant value kan. It always be January, February, March and so on kan. So it is a constant value kan. Betul guys Okay, and then commission variable. Can I make it a constant? Is there any other situation that we can make commission as a constant? Commission untuk if you become a reseller kan, if you become insurance agent kan, the commission. Can I make it constant, class?
Can.
What situation can I make a commission as a constant?
Like max commission.
Correct kan, max commission kan. So max commission, for example, maximum commission is 2,000 kan. Doesn't matter how much your sale is, the maximum commission is going to be 2,000. But then again, the name should be changed lah, maximum kan, maximum commission kan. So it will represent the constant value kan. Okay, so understand the basic concept of variable and the difference between constant and variable. So this is very important. Again, I repeat. Okay, next we have data. So this is really connected with the variable and constant. Okay, early variable and constant that we differentiate tadi kan. So variable and constant can hold a data. Okay, so this data is going to be used by your program. Okay, but to use this data, your program should be able to differentiate the types of the data, kan? Whether it is a numeric or whether it is a string, and numeric can be divided again kan, to integer kan, or decimal point number kan, real number. Okay, so how can the program differentiate the types of data? We are talking about traditional computer language not advanced computer language Some computer language you don't have to tell the program, you don't have to tell the compiler, okay, this name variable is type of string, okay kan. Commission variable or constant is type of numeric data. You cannot tell, you don't have to tell it to the advanced computer language kan. But we are talking about traditional kan. Traditionally, when we want to develop a program, we need to tell the program what data that it will process. So you need to when you need to tell the program, first you need to know, okay, what data you should supply, what type of data you should supply to your program. Okay, so you need to declare. You need to declare your variable first. Declaration, variable declaration. So first you need to differentiate between constant and variable. The next step is you need to be able to declare your variable. Okay, whether it is numeric ke, whether it is a string ke. So you need to know. Okay, you need to differentiate this data. Okay. Okay, so in general, they are numeric. Okay, only two types, integer and real. Real ni decimal lah, decimal ada point kan, perpuluhan And then we have character type of data. Ini ABC, symbol. Okay, we consider as a string. Okay, actually we have another one over here, single character. A or B or C or D, single character. And then we have other data. So this including date, time, apa lagi? Other than these two we consider as other data lah, image ke, okay? Other data. And we also have logical data kan, that holds true or false value only. Okay, the value is true or false only. So this is logical lah, logical, true or false only. Okay, so once you know the type of data, okay, this is an example lah, example of numeric data lah. Just an example. Okay, we have positive and negative. For example, integer so the integer without the decimal we have 0 considered as a number not null 0 is a integer number. Null is null lah, no value. You should be able to differentiate between no value, which is null, and 0. 0 is a value, integer value. So have positive and negative. Okay, same goes to the real number. Okay, real number is a floating point number, a whole number with decimal part. Okay, ada perpuluhan. Okay, and have positive and negative as well. This is also considered as floating point number. Okay, so this is example of numeric data. Okay, this is example of character data. So we have single character. So character data, if you want to put it in your program, you should put a quote. Okay, a quote. Okay, this is using double but mostly if it is a single data single data, usually we use single quote Contoh A, single quote not double single quote, but double also correct. But the most correct is single quote for a single character data. Okay, over here you can see that 7 also can be used as a character data. Why is it? Any idea? Single character data If you refer to string, okay, example of string, you see this is a number so why is it declared as a character string data, not a numeric value? Any idea how we want to differentiate between a number that is numeric and a number that is a character? Macam mana?
Dia ada quotation marks tu.
Yes, we put quotation mark. That is once we know that the value is character types. Once we know that the value is a character type, so when we want to use it in our program, we need to put the quote. So first, before that, how can we know that it should be a character, not a numeric? Any idea? Okay, I give you an example. For example, house number house number equal to 7. House number equal to 7. Okay, so can I is it suitable for me to declare it as a character data? Suitable or not?
Suitable.
Okay, suitable. Why is it suitable?
Because-
favorite number.
Sorry?
Because 7 is not for calculation.
Yeah, correct. Okay. Any numeric value that we didn't use for calculation, so you may declare it as a character or string data. Okay, that's the key point. Okay, any value, numeric value that we are not going to use it in any calculation, you may declare it as a string or character. That's why you see over here 7 kan. Over here you see number kan, zip code kan. What you are going to use it for calculation? Is there any calculation for zip code? No, right? Okay. But what if you want to declare zip code as an integer? Is it okay or not? Can you do it? Can you do that? If I want to declare zip code not as a string data, but I want to declare as an integer, can I do that, class? Can or cannot? Teka.
Can.
Can. Of course can kan. As long as the rules is follows, then it's okay lah. Okay, unless what types of rules that you cannot break kan? Unless if zip code 28 have space on it. Example lah, in any situation kan, maybe kan, I don't know kan. So it doesn't become a standard numeric format value. Okay, numeric format value should be just a number without a space. So this can be numeric, this cannot be numeric. Alright. Okay, so the answer is can, as long as it follows the numeric format value. How about this phone number? Can I declare it as a numeric instead of string? Yes or no?
No.
No, why?
Because it has operator. Because it has.
Betul, correct betul kan? So it is not entirely a number kan? There's one apa ni panggil multiplication operator ni kan, tolak ni kan. So no, cannot, unless if your phone number is entirely number, then can, possible you may declare it as a numeric value, integer value how about this account number? Can I declare it as a numeric value? Can. Why I can declare it as a numeric? The reason is the answer is cannot. Cannot numeric kan? Because of what, class? This is you cannot declare this account number as a numeric if the account number have other than number elements inside of it. This is number, okay, allowed, but we have AW in front of it. So cannot kan? This is not a number. Okay, this is number with a letter kan? So cannot Okay, understand understand why in which situation you may declare a numeric as a character, or you may declare a numeric as a numeric if it doesn't involve in any calculation, then possible to declare a numeric as a character. Okay. So over here concatenation kan, this one is operation, mathematical, some kind of mathematical operation involving a string value. Okay, as given over here kan, for example we have 4 plus 4 that we declare as a character. Okay, so plus 4 character plus 4 character will give you a character output not numeric output you see. So this same as if you put Ali plus Abu, so the answer is going to be what, guys?
Ali Abu.
Ali Abu. Okay? Yes. Understand so once you put a quote in front of outside of a numeric value, it already become character So the characteristic also will follow the characteristic Okay? Boleh? Any question?
Boleh.
Boleh.
Alright. Okay, last is logical lah. Okay, logical is true or false only Okay, true or false. Okay, this is some example. Okay, is there any way that I can declare IC number as a numeric? This one numeric. Can I do that, class?
Can.
Okay, give me one situation where you can use IC number for any calculation. Boleh tak? Can we differentiate female or male person based on the IC number?
Yes.
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 How to differentiate?
From last.
Odd number at the last.
Last kan? Odd number meaning that the person is
Male.
male kan? Even is female. So how can we know that it is a odd number or even number?
Divide by 2.
Correct kan? So we divide the value by 2 kan? So you see, IC number can be numeric. Okay, if you need it, the value for any calculation. So it is actually based on you as a programmer. If you require that kind of calculation, okay, using your IC number, so you cannot put IC number as a characteristic. So you need to put it as a integer, so that you can perform calculation for your data. Alright. Okay. So next is okay. Once you already able to differentiate all types of data, okay, for your variable and constant, okay, then you can start program sebenarnya dah boleh dah You may start programming at the beginning for the top of the program kan. On the top of the program you need to do the declaration you need to do the declaration for example ini for example over here kan. Ni this is example of declaration. Okay, this is example of declaration. So we declare pi as a floating point number. This is a declaration this one we declare ID number as integer. This is we declare today variable as integer. Do you understand, guys? So this knowledge is required for you to be able to do the declaration on top of your program. Okay, on top of the program, you need to list down all the variable and constant, and you need to declare. Okay, this constant is what type. Okay, this variable is what type. Okay, before you proceed with the rest of the program. Okay, so this knowledge is very important. If you declare your variable or constant wrongly, so your output is going to be wrong output. Okay, so next is functions. Okay, function can be divided to two types. Okay, first is predefined function. The second is user defined function. Okay, so user defined function is a function that created by you as a programmer. Okay, entirely created by you. Okay, while predefined function is a function that we get from the programming language library. Okay. Okay, so that's two different. Predefined is the function already there inside of the programming language library. If you want to use it, you just call the function. This is the first you need to know. Okay, the different. Okay, while user-defined function is the function that you create entirely. Okay, you as a programmer, you create the function entirely. Okay, first you need to identify. Okay, in a programming language, in a programming environment, how can you spot which is a function, which is not function, kan? For example, over here, kan? Which one is a function, class? Those yang pernah belajar programming ni, kan? Which one is a function? Ada idea tak? Ada function ke tak ada function? Ada function, Okay, first you need to know that this is library. This is library specifically for C programming. stdio.h. Meaning that if you see stdio.h, then you must know that this program is using C programming language library. If you see iostream.h, that program is using C++ library. C++ programming language library. So each specific programming language most of the time have its own library. So inside of this library, it is storing all kinds, many predefined function. Okay, how do you want to know a function? So if you spot a bracket in front of any statement, for example, main, and then there's a bracket. Okay, meaning that this is a function. Mana lagi bracket, guys? Is there any bracket? Ni, if. Bracket, right? Function lah tu. Okay. Printf. Bracket. Function. Okay. So that's how you spot a function in a program. Most of the time, it have a bracket after one statement. Okay. Okay. So this bracket over here, this bracket over here, this bracket over here. So these are all predefined function. Okay. Ni predefined function. Ni predefined function. Okay. The function that we get from stdio.h library. Okay, predefined function. Okay, what we are going to discuss over here is the basic function for the predefined function. Function that we get from a specific programming language library. Not the user-defined function. User-defined function ni later on. Nanti dalam chapter lain. So basically for the predefined function, we have mathematical function, okay, string function, conversion function, statistical function, utility function. So we are going to look at some of the example of this function. Only some. There are tons, thousands function for all these operation. But we are going to look at some of it. Okay, for example, for mathematical operation, nampak ni, there's a bracket kan? SQRT, meaning that we want to, this is not for C programming language. This is in general. In general, if you want to call function square root, maybe this is the way SQRT kan. But inside of C programming language, maybe not SQRT kan. I'm not sure what the function name kan. Forget already. But this is in general how we want to show you can use this mathematical function kan. It is there inside of the library, but you need to know how to call it. So how to know a specific name function for a specific programming language kan. For example C, how to call square root in C. So you need to Google lah. Google the manual for C mathematical function and find the square root function. What is the name for square root function in C programming? So maybe probably it is different from Java kan. Probably it is different from C++. Probably it is different from Python kan. So you need to know the name of the function before you can use it in specific programming environment. But this is in general, we just put it SQRT, okay, to call a function square root, so that we can calculate the square root number without having to do the entire coding. Okay, if you are not using square root function, it's okay kan, but you need to do the equation lah, how to do the calculation. First you need to declare number equal to 64 and then you need to do the calculation lah. Panjang sikit calculation kan. Square root. Okay, this is just put a number inside of the function. Example. This is just example. Let's say in this program kan, example kan. I'm not saying that SQRT because I didn't remember what is the name for square root function in C kan. Okay, for example over here, you want to calculate the square root for 64 kan. So we declare integer number equal to 64, example and then over here SQRT number, example lah. So it will calculate the square root for number, example So this is how you call function. Okay class, boleh? Don't get confused just yet because we are not yet in the programming part no this is just to show you an example. Boleh? Okay, this is example. So there are others. Okay, for example, this is round. Okay, round ni kan. You need to read the description lah. So how to use function round. Okay, for example, returns the rounded value of n to n1 place. N1 place. So this is the syntax example kan. So n is the number that you want to round it. For example, you want to round it 1.1993 to the third place. 3 lah. Ni third place. 1, 2, 3 kan. 1, 2, 3 you get 1. Salah ni kan. 199. 1, 2, 3 rounded you get 1.111. 3 kan. Okay. Alright. So we have random. Okay, we have sign ni. You read the description lah to know how to use it. Okay. Any question class regarding mathematical function? As I said, this is just example. There are, if not 1,000, maybe hundreds mathematical function inside of C library. Just C library kan? Maybe kan? I'm not sure. The total maybe 100, maybe puluh je ke, maybe 1,000 kan? Tapi there are a lot. Okay? Not only this function kan? We have tangent, cosinus function. We have banyak lah function. Just mathematical function Okay, and then we have conversion. Okay, conversion value, conversion function Okay, for example, value S. Return a string value into a numeric value. Okay, we want to convert string. Okay, we want to convert string to a numeric value. So we use this conversion. Boleh So this is vice versa. Okay, you want to convert numeric to a string value. Okay, string. Okay, put the value that you want to convert and you get the string value. Okay. Boleh So the rest you may read by yourself. Okay, example. So read the description to know how to use the function. So most probably there will be some question. Okay, based on the function that listed in this slide. In this slide only. So this is string function kan. Example example this one how to use meet string function. So you have to know what S stand for. So S is the string. Okay, for example, welcome kan. Welcome. So S is string welcome. N2 okay. N2 character start N1 kan. N1 is the starting. Okay, starting of the string that you want to get. Okay, for example, this one N1 is 3. So starting with 3 lah. 1, 2, 3. So starting with L. Okay. And then up until N2. N2 is 2. Okay, so 2 string only. Okay, starting with L, we get 2 string only. So LC. What if I put this 3 class? What should be the result?
IO.
Only.
I see.
Bukan I, L lah.
L
L, C, O. Dia up until 3. Okay, 3 apa? 3 letter dia bukan dia semua 3 kan? 3 kan? So kalau 4, we put 4 over here then L, C, O, M These are example question that will be asked to you given to you this function and given to you the requirement. Okay, given to you this value. So what is the output? Example kan. Usually quiz question will ask something like this. Alright, so make sure you understand all these function listed over here. Okay. So we are going to discuss this later. Let's have a break. Berapa minit nak break Minum air jap. 2 minutes 9:16 we start again Ada sikit lagi ni nak cover. Banyak agak ni. Okay, 2 minutes 9:16 we start again. Okay, can we continue?
Yes, sir.
Saya suka kelas pagi lagi kan, banding kelas petang kan. Kelas petang lemau sikit lah. Kalau awak je lemau, saya pun lemau kan. Adira Farisha ada, Adira Farisha. Ada ke Adira Farisha? Ha? Ada ke? Tak ada. Tak dengar. Aimanul Hakim.
Saya, sir.
Ada Gogulan Selvaraju.
Yes, sir.
Is there any international student here? International student. No international student Okay. Okay, let us continue. Okay. So we covered already constant, variable, data type. And next is operator. Although it is a basic apa kita panggil? Basic elements lah. We can say basic elements kan. Primary school belajar operator ni kan. Some of the operator kan. However, it's very important lah. Okay. Some of the operator we use in the programming is different compared to the standard operator kan. Some of it very different. So you need to know because if you have a equation kan. If you have equation something like this. Okay. 5 plus 7 equal to 13. Okay, you want to put it inside of your program kan. So you cannot simply put equation like this. Okay, it is wrong. Okay, you need to know how to convert normal equation into a understandable computer equation that understandable by the compiler. For example kat sini kan. Kita guna ni je lah kan. Example kan, you want to do some sort of calculation kan. Adalah mana-mana kat sini kan, you want to do calculation kan. Example kan. Nampak tak ke kecil sangat? So you cannot simply, if you want to calculate 5 plus 7 kan. Example kan. So you cannot put like this kan. Berapa? 12. So this is wrong kan. You should follow a standard way. There's a syntax to do calculation in computer programming. Okay. So how to know the standard way to do calculation kan? Over here lah. So the basic, okay, basic operator and operand. Okay. So this is what we call as operand. So you need to know the terms lah. This is operand. So this is operand. Okay, if you have more kan, 5 plus 7 plus C ke, for example kan. So C also as operand. Operand can be more than 1 lah. So equal to 13. So this is the resultant. Okay, resultant. And this is the operator. Alright. So let's say if you want to make it a computer understandable equation, okay? So you must convert it into some sort of variable lah, kan? So that the program can hold the value kan. So this this is straight value kan, cannot be held by the program kan, so cannot lah. So we must do something like this. If you want to do calculation for 5 plus 7, so there must be a variable that holds 5 plus 7 value. Okay, something like this kan. So C is the variable. Example lah. Example kan, this is the example kan. So it should be understandable kan. As we discussed earlier, variable name should be understandable lah. So C ni tak boleh lah. Kan. Most probably answer kan, for example. But let's say the question asks you to use C. C lah. The requirement of the question ask you to use C. So you must use C. Jangan cakap tak boleh pula kan. Requirement kan. So this is how you do it kan. So this is a standard equation that understandable by the computer. So C is the apa kelas? C operand ke, resultant ke, operator?
Operand.
Resultant.
Jangan confuse pula kan. So we move the resultant to the left kan. That's the standard. Okay, standard computer syntax. Okay, the resultant should be on the left. So C is the resultant. So this is operator. This is operand. Okay, this is operand. This is operator. So it can be more than one. Example kan. So what is A class? Operand, operator, resultant.
Operand.
Operand.
You understand So this is basic operand and operator and resultant Okay, next we are going to look at types of operator. Not many operator operator, when we talk about operator, it must involving calculation calculation lah. Okay. So we have mathematical operator, relational operator, logical operator. I can say that all these operator, the basic how to use it already covered during your school time sekolah kita dah belajar all these operator So this is just to refresh and how we can relate with the computer programming Okay, first we are going to look at mathematical operator. So we have addition. Okay, so this is normal. Okay, same like the manual addition, addition punya ni kan. Okay, so subtraction. Okay, subtraction also same like manual calculation. Okay, multiplication. Multiplication is different. Okay, so if you want to do equation involving multiplication, you cannot use X. Okay, so this is manually we use X but when we want to write computer program, when you want to include this equation, okay, multiplication, you cannot use X. Okay, X will be considered as variable if you use X. Okay, so you get error error when you compile your program, when you run it, you try to run it, you will get error because it doesn't recognize X as a multiplication operator. Okay, so wrong. So you must use star for multiplication. For division, okay, normal division, okay, kita guna A bagi tu kan. Mana simbol bagi Tak ada sini. Okay, ni bagilah ni. A bagi kan. But computer understandable symbol is slash ni lah. This is normal division. Bahagi Okay, you get one value lah for the resultant. Bagi Okay. Dash terbalik Also for division, but specifically for integer division. Meaning that you didn't get you are not going to get the whole value. 13 bagi 2 ni, kalau normally we calculate, we will get berapa? 6.5 6.5 kan? If you use this symbol over here, okay, instead of this symbol, you use this symbol, so you will get 6.5. But if you use this symbol, do you understand what I mean, guys? Let's say if you use this symbol So you will get 6.5. Okay, but if you use this symbol, so it will only get the integer value out of the output. Alright. Okay, for modulo. Okay, for modulo, okay, instead of getting the result for the output, it will fetch only the remainder of the operation. Baki. Okay, baki pada operasi ni lah. So the result is going to be 6 kan. Tapi baki dia ada 1 kan. 1 kan, bawah tu kan. The remainder of the division. Faham remainder baki. Faham tak? 6 bagi di sini 6 kan. 6, 12, 13 tolak 12, you get 1 kan. So 1 is the answer. Okay, power ni power lah. 4 to the power of 2 punca kuasa kan. Punca kuasa. Okay, is 16. Okay, power So these are only mathematical operation. Okay, standard mathematical operation. So if you want to use it in your program, you must use something like this lah. But this is also gets back to the type of programming language that you use. Most of the time, it is using this symbol lah. Okay. The next is relational operator. Okay, relational operator equal. We use relational operator to compare two or more value. Okay, that's why you see the resultant is not numeric. The resultant is logical. False or true. For example, A B kan. Given A is 1, B is 1. So what is the resultant?
True.
True.
The resultant is true. Okay. Macam ni. So true is going to be which value, class? Akan disimpan di mana?
C.
C.
Okay, so A is 1, B is 1, so the answer is true. True will be stored inside of C. So you know the difference between single equal and double equal. Okay, double equal used to compare between two value. Single equal used to store a value to a specific variable. Okay, that's the difference. Okay, then we have less than. Ni normal kan, less than kan. So if 5 less than 7, true. Okay, greater than. This is less than or equal to. So let's say if this is 5, is it true or false, guys?
True.
True.
True kan, because it is less than or kan, or either one kan. True. Okay, correct. So this is relational operator. So last we have not equal. Okay, sometimes we use this kind of symbol. Okay, not equal to. Meaning that's not equal to lah. What if 5 and 5?
False.
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 False kan 5 is equal to 5 kan. So it should be false lah. Kalau not equal, then it will be true Okay. Okay, again, this is the some example again I show you already before kan. the division operation have three different symbol kan. So this is normal division. Okay, this is integer division. Okay, you get only the integer value. Okay, without the decimal point. So this is to get the remainder only. Okay, so 4 kali 2, 8, 8, 9 tolak 8, 1 kan. So the remainder is 1. Okay. And lastly, we have the logical operator kan. Not is a vice versa kan. If for example, kan, C equal to not A. So A is true. So what's the value of C?
B.
C equal to A is true. A is true. So C equal to
False.
C equal to false lah kan. So A is true. So not true is false lah. Okay. Understand or not?
Yes.
Okay, what if A and B? A is false, B is true.
False.
False.
False kan? So and requires both and to be true kan? A must be true, B must be true, then you will get C equal to true. Okay, what if A is true, A is false, B is false?
False.
False.
Both false. So it's going to be a false kan? Okay, good kan? So you get it eh? Again kan, this is already form berapa belajar ni eh? Ke sekolah rendah saya pun tak ingat kan? Tapi pernah kan belajar kan? Ingat lagi kan? Okay, so the last one is OR kan? So this is this is, for example, A is false, B is true, C is
True.
true kan? Either one is true, it is true eh? Okay, correct. Okay, so far any question class?
No, sir.
Okay, boleh eh? Okay, so this is a logical operator mapping lah. All the condition if only involving two operand ni kan. Dua operand je kan. Kalau three operand different eh. Okay. So if the equation is involving only single operator kan, doesn't matter logical ke relational ke mathematical kan, it is easy kan for us to solve the equation kan. Contoh ni kan, easy kan, easy to solve kan, no problem. This one also easy to solve. But what if the equation involving more than one operator? Okay, combination of all the operator. So how do you solve it? Okay, so you need to refer to this table of hierarchy. Okay, table of hierarchy. Okay, meaning that the first element on the top of the hierarchy is the most priority. So if you see bracket, you must solve the element inside of the bracket first. Okay. Okay, for example, A equal to B plus C multiply by D. Okay. If there's no bracket, which element that we solve first, class?
Multiply.
Multiply.
Why we must solve multiply first?
Okay.
Sebab inside of the hierarchy, it is on top of the addition, kan? So multiplication on top of it. So you must solve multiplication first. Okay? And then we solve the addition. Alright. But let's say if there's a bracket over here. So which one we solve first, class?
Bracket.
Bracket.
Solve B plus C first because bracket is on the top of the hierarchy. So we solve it first. Understand? Alright. What if we have this is divide by D multiply by E. So after do the addition B plus C, which operation should we do? Divide first or multiply first?
Divide.
Why?
Multiply first.
Multiply.
Multiply first. The answer is, okay, you see multiplication and division is in the same. Dia bukannya multiplication dulu listing multiplication first no the level is the same. So if the level is the same, if we found both in the equation, we solve the most left operator first. So the most left is division kan. So we solve the division first. Boleh? Understand?
Yes.
Okay, we solve the division first and then once we get the resultant, we do the multiplication with E. Alright. That's if we counter operator, more than one operator in the same hierarchy kan. We solve the most left first. Okay, so what if we have so this is actually equal no equal rational kan. We have C D E F so which we solve first?
Solve mathematical operation first.
Okay, this one first, and then this one, and finally we do the rational operator kan. So what is the answer possible for A? What is the possible answer for A, class? Give me all possible answer for A. Without knowing the value. Boleh tahu tak? Possible answer for A.
True or false?
Correct kan? True or false? Anywhere in your equation involving rational operator or logical operator kan? So the answer is the final answer is going to be true or false bukan numeric kan? Tak ada numeric kan? Because the output for rational and logical operator is true or false. Okay? For example ni output dia kat sini output dia 1 kan. F 1 kan. F1, F equal to 1. So this is equal to 1, the value. So 1 is 1 equal to 1? True kan? So A equal to true. Boleh? Understand?
Understand.
Yes, sir.
Alright, so we solve the equation manually kan. Actually there's a standard way to do this in this subject lah kan. If you are good enough, then it's okay kan for you to calculate using your brain kan. But later on I will show you how to do the process for the calculation. So we have expression and equation. Okay, the only difference is for equation, if you put equation inside of the program, meaning that we want to store the value. Okay, for later use. Okay, for example, we put calculation. Okay, let's use the same program. Over here, let's say we put it over here. Okay, we put at the beginning of the program. Contoh lah kan, contoh. Example, we put the equation over here. Okay, meaning that we want to store the value inside of variable value so that later on, somewhere in our program, we can use again we can reuse again the outputs. Okay, the value of volume. For example, over here we want to calculate A. We can call back the early value of volume. Okay, no problem kan to recall back this value. Okay, because we already store the value inside of variable volume. Okay, this is equation. Okay, compared to expression. Okay, expression is without equal. Without equal. Meaning that we are not going to store the value. Okay, we are not going to store the value. Okay, so that in the program it looks like this. So can you at the bottom of the program, can you do this? If on the top is something like this, can you do this? Boleh tak kelas?
No.
Cannot lah kan, because what is the value for volume kan? No value kan. So you need to retype again over here. If you want to do it, you need to retype again over here kan, contoh kan. So this is actually the calculation to obtain the value. So there's a use for expression and there's a use for equation. But most of the time, we prefer equation instead of expression. So because we can store the value for equation. Boleh this is just to differentiate between equation dengan expression je. Jangan confuse sangat. Okay, equation have equal, expression doesn't have equal. Alright. Okay, the expression and equation. Okay, this is an example again. Okay, some of the example. Okay, this is the important part. So we have manual. Okay, manual expression over here. Okay, given to you this expression, manual mathematical expression. So you are required to construct a computer program to solve this expression. So you cannot simply copy this and put it in your program. Because of what, class? If you just simply copy and paste to your program, what will happen?
Error.
Error, because your program doesn't, the compiler doesn't understand this. A bracket. What does A bracket mean? What does 2B mean? If you put 2B, the compiler is not going to understand this. What you need the compiler to do, kan? So you need to break down this manual mathematical expression into a standard computer expression by applying all these operator. Okay, all these related operator kan. For example, A bracket meaning that A multiply the bracket kan. 2B meaning that 2 multiply B. So you need to be specific about this. Okay, so same goes to the one back here. Okay, B divided by A minus 5. So A minus 5 should be done first. So put it in bracket. Okay, otherwise if you don't put a bracket, you just put divide by A minus B. So the compiler will do B divided by A first. Which is wrong kan? Because we want to follow the original expression. Original gives A should minus by 5 first. Okay, so put it in bracket. So these skills need to be mastered by you. Kan? Because you are the one who designed the program. You should be able to use appropriate computer expression or computer equation. Okay, same goes to the equation. For example, you need to solve this. So you cannot simply put this inside of your program, computer program. Because as I mentioned, a computer program, there should be only one variable in front of the equation, the equal. So you cannot put A plus 7, A plus 11 in front of the equation. This will give you error for your program because the program only understand one variable in front of the equation. So you need to modify this mathematical the manual mathematical operation so that it is understandable by the computer. Boleh faham kelas?
Faham.
So normally in the assessment doesn't matter quiz ke, midterm test ke, final ke, there will be one question about this So but it is not simply given the expression equation So first you need to understand the problem, you need to extract the information, okay, you need to list down all the variables, you need to construct the equation or expression, okay, and then you need to solve the expression or equation So how you show the process of the process how you show the process of the equation So you do like this So you construct the table. Okay, this table consists of number, operation and resultant, and then you need to draw. Okay, inside of the equation you need to draw which process comes first. So in this case, we have bracket So we have two bracket. So the first bracket should be solved is the one on the left first So this is the one on the left. Okay, you solve this first. Okay, so this is number 1. Okay, put number 1. What is the operation? So number 1 operation is A minus B. A minus B. So what are the result? Okay. So second operation. Okay. So this is second operation. C plus 3. So what are the result? Okay. So next is number 3. So we have 2 multiplication and we have division. So which come first? Most left So the most left, this is the same hierarchy level. So the most left is the first multiplication So over here. So 7 multiplied by resultant 1. Okay, resultant 1 Because 1 already got the result which is 8 8 which is 3. So how to write it? Like this 7 multiplied by resultant of 1. So you get the value. And so on. Okay, so this is for mathematical expression For equation, there's a additional step which is you need to, you may refer to this example. This example. This this is for equation Equation, there's an additional step over here which is number 6 store the resultant of 5 in the memory location called D. So this is additional for equation. Expression doesn't have this. But for equation, you need to write down these steps. The last step, storing the value inside of specific variable. Understand, class? This is for equation. Boleh tak?
Boleh, sir.
Okay. Additional information. Okay. For data involving logical or relational operator kan. So if the question asking you to develop a table of all possible resultant for this equation, so you need to list down all possible result all possible condition for to get this result. Okay, for example, if there's two variable A and B, so A and B, so the possible for A is true, true, false, false. The possible for B, true, false, true, false. Okay, so if you have 3, then the possible is going to be longer. You get what I mean? You have 3 A, B, C. You need to put C over here. So this is going to be true, 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 false, 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 true, true, false, true, false. Kan? So all possible combination of A, B, and C need to be listed over here. So this is table of all possible resultant. If you are required to do this. Okay, later on you may look at again and try buang ni kan, buang ni and then try to construct the table again. Okay, see and try to do it for more than 2 variable kan. Okay, so that's it for today. Okay, any question? Banyak sikit lah kan kena cover ni kan, but it is just a very basic operation. Okay, if no question, then what I need you to do is solve exercise 3 ni. So we have I provide you with this equation. So solve it, not just giving the last output. Solve it using this process Okay, construct the table, draw the process. 1, 2, okay, drawing you need to draw and you need to provide the table You may submit the answer using Microsoft Word ke apa-apalah yang you boleh type and then submit your answer through Kalam. Okay, open up Kalam. I already provide the link over here. Section 2A ke, section 2B ke. Okay, lab week 1 submission. Okay, submit your answer. Latest is Friday before midnight. Boleh Niat je ni. Tidur dah ke?
Boleh, sir.
Boleh
Boleh, sir.
Boleh.
Okay, that's all for today guys. Dah lambat 5 minit ni, sorry Okay, thank you and see you guys next week. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, sir.
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 Thank you, sir.